Hello, everyone. This is John Eckstein. I'm a partner at Fairfield and Woods in the corporate department. We're talking about sell-side mergers and acquisitions work with John Leonard, the former chair of our corporate department, who's really active in selling businesses. So this conversation will be about after-sale provisions. So, John, you have anything you want to say, or should we get right into it?
Let's jump right into it.
Okay. So why do buyers want sellers to work in the business after the sale, John?
Yeah. Well, they know that one of the best consultants ever on how a business operates is the prior owner. It's also the person that customers can identify with. So if there's issues that come up that need institutional knowledge, it's very helpful for a buyer to be able to talk to the previous seller and have him or her advise. Now, these agreements can be short or long. They can be typically 3 months, maybe half a year, just to help with the transition. A lot of times, the process of selling the company has gone on for a while, but customers and employees might be the last people to know about it. So having the former owner around in certain circumstances can help smooth over issues with customers and employees.
Okay. So what's a non-competition provision and how should it be structured?
Well, by law, non-competition agreements are generally unenforceable. One big exception is the sale of a business.
Okay.
Now, both the courts and the Colorado statutes and other states have placed restrictions on how those agreements can be drafted. Generally, they can't be too long in time. 5 years is the outside that I see, and I typically see 2 to 3 years. They also need to be restricted in terms of geography. Before the internet, before tech companies, it was fairly easy to pin down municipalities or counties or states or regions. Now with the internet, it's something that is highly negotiated on who you can go work for after, if you're a seller, after you sell the business. And I think as a potential seller, you would understand that if somebody has paid money to purchase your business, they don't want you setting up across the street doing the same thing and selling goods and services to your former customers. They want to preserve that value as long as they can, but they have to do it during a reasonable time and in a reasonable geography.
Okay. That's the structuring part you were talking about. Reasonable in time, reasonable in space. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So what's an earnout and how should earnouts be structured?
So earnouts are like the first topic we just talked about employment agreements. This usually occurs when a business owner thinks his business is worth more than a buyer wants to pay.
Yeah.
And a buyer says, well, why don't you come and help me run it for 1 or 2 years? And the seller gets a certain percentage of gross revenue or net revenue, depending on how the agreement is negotiated. Well, these are very volatile arrangements because the buyer has one vision on how the company ought to be operated, and facts and circumstances may change, and the seller wants things operated just the way they always have been operated so that that person can earn this extra amount of money. Now, the amount of money that might be involved is maybe they've paid 80% of what the owner wants, and the owner's earning the additional 20% he thinks he ought to have received in those following 2 years. Would be something fairly typical. But the assumptions that you as the seller would have on how the company's going to be operated, what personnel is going to be there, how much you're going to spend on marketing, advertising, on going to conventions, if that's still something we might do after COVID, I don't know. But whatever assumptions you have on how that business is going to be operated, needs to be drafted into the agreement. So earnouts are very volatile. I'd probably advise to take less money, take the money and run than work for 2 years with somebody that may not be operating the business the way you want. So think long and hard. We can give good advice on how to structure an earnout though.
Amen. Thank you, John. Appreciate it very much.
All right.